Hi, it's Venom Cannon 13. Today we're going to do a video on a bolt strip for the Ruger Mark III. Okay, so these are the steps that we're going to use. And you're just going to do the steps in order, and then to put it back you're just going to reverse the steps. Okay? If you're new to the gun and you're doing it for the first couple times and you're going to take anything apart, what I recommend you do is make little paper slips and then number them with the name of the part and the number of the part in the book, and it will save you from having to go back and forth between the book and flipping back and forth between the picture and the names, and that way you'll know what everything is. You just put it on there and keep track of it and then put it back in. So again, we're going to do a disassembly of the bolt. So the first thing we're going to do is take off the recoil spring assembly. Just push on the spring and then that comes out. Okay, so we're going to put that on the paper with the name. Okay, and then we can see the firing pin underneath here, and the firing pin is held in by the pin here. So what we're going to do is take this pin out, and that's just going to punch out. And then you want to put your finger on top of the spring, it'll pop up because it's held in, there's a spring underneath there. So just going to pull this pin out, and again we put that's the firing pin stop, so we put it on the paper, and then right underneath that is your firing pin. And if you note, as you take it out, the flat part is the top and the curved part under here is the bottom. And then you can see the hole where the firing pin stop goes through. So then we're going to put our firing pin here, and then if you look underneath, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a spring and a small metal part. That is the rebound spring and the rebound spring support. So if you notice the way it is before you take it out, you'll notice the spring is towards the back, and the metal piece, the rebound spring support, is towards the front. So we're going to take that out. And you'll also notice, they're in there like this, that there's a slight arch to it. And when we put that back in, we want the arch to be pointing up when we put that in. Okay, so there's our rebound spring and our rebound spring support. And that leaves us with the extractor. This is one of the tougher things to do on the Ruger, and this is where our picks come into play. I like to use this one here. There is a spring and a pin here under tension which holds the extractor in. So what you need to do is release that tension. So what you're going to do is put your pick in there, and you kind of have to grab a hold of this pin and pull it back. And then while you have it all the way back, then you have to grab the extractor and work it out. And as you can see, it takes a couple tries. I've done this a couple times and it still takes me a couple tries to do it. Okay, so you can take your extractor out, and then you want to be careful. This spring is under tension, so if you let this go, it'll shoot out across the room. So you want to put your finger there and stop that. And then this will come out, and then you have the pin and the spring. Okay, so this is the I got my papers mixed up here. Here we go. This is the extractor spring and the extractor plunger. Okay, so then you've done a detail strip of the bolt. There's nothing else to do. So then you want to clean it. And then when it's time to put it back, we're going to do exactly the opposite of what we just did. So the first thing to go back in is the last part we just took out, is this extractor spring and the extractor plunger. And if you notice that it has half cut out, and that's going to go back in with the cutout part facing inside, because the way that's going to look is that cutout part is going to engage your extractor like this. So it's going to need to go facing in. The cutout part will face in. Okay, so the way I do this, again, this can be a little hard. It's going to take you a couple tries to get it. But what you're going to do is put this in first, and you want to line it up so that the cutout part is facing in. And then what I do is kind of back it in with the extractor to get it started. And then I'm going to hold the extractor with my finger, and that will put pressure on the spring, and then we're going to get our pick again and we're going to pull back on this, and there. So that way, once you let it go, that cutout part slides past. The longer part is on the outside, so it slides past and catches the extractor. So there, you know you did it right. Your extractor should move, but it shouldn't come back out. Okay, so that's how you do it. So again, I put the extractor plunger and the spring in with the cutout part facing out and the longer side facing in, kind of like this. And then the extractor is going to fit right in the slot. So then you put the extractor in to get it started and push it back as far as you can, and then grab it with your finger, push it the rest of the way, and then with the pick you'll be able to pull this back and then work the extractor in until the extractor plunger grabs your extractor. Okay, so that's the hard part. Okay, then we're going to continue in reverse order. So we did the extractor plunger. So then we're going to go back to the rebound spring. And of course, we have our parts labeled here so we know how they go. And again, the spring faces to the back. So this will be the back. So the spring faces towards the back. And you want it so the arch points up. So not down, but up. So the arch is going to face up. So we're going to start it here. Oops. I'm going to drop it in. And that's not how you do it. This is the easy part. I already did the hard part. Okay. I got the hard part on the first try, and I can't do the easy part. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look again. We can see that the spring is facing towards the back and that the slanted part is facing up. So the notch is facing up. So it's in there in this direction. You don't want it in this direction. You want it facing in this direction with the spring coming off. So you want it to face up. Okay, and then we're going to put our firing pin back in, and we're going to secure that with the firing pin stop. So again, the flat part goes facing up. So we're going to put it in with the flat part facing up and this hook part here facing down. So that goes in, and then the hole will line up there. So once it goes in, you may have to give it just a slight push forwards to bring the hole in line with the pin. So just push it a little bit forwards with your thumb, and then the pin will slide right in. So that's all there is to that. And then last but not least, the recoil spring assembly. So of course you're cleaning these parts as you take them out, and then when you put them back in, clean, and then you have access to all the parts of the bolt as well to clean it. And then this is going to go in. Then we're going to use our dowel. Just give it a slight nudge. And back it goes in. And there you go. So that's your detail strip for cleaning of your bolt and the reassembly. And then from there you would just proceed to reassemble. So this is Venom Cannon 13, Ruger Mark III, bolt strip and reassembly. Have a good day.